Hello, everyone. Hi, happy Thursday, everyone. Okay, let's see who I got. Hi, everyone. Okay, lots of familiar faces. Hi, guys. So, tonight on this webinar, we're going to talk about meditation. Now, I'm going to show you a few meditation blends while using LabAroma. So, just so I can get a gauge of you guys and what you want from tonight, give me a show of hands how many of you are LabAroma users. I'm curious to see how many of you will benefit from learning more about LabAroma. Okay, brilliant. So, a few of you. Hello, Brigitte. Hello, Angela. Hello, Sheila and Susan. Hello, everyone. And Sheila, so you guys are users, which is great. So this should hopefully be, and Joanna's here as well. This should be so helpful, and Pam and Joe. This should be helpful in case there's any features of LabAroma that you maybe don't use or haven't really dived into in much detail. Then you'll get to learn a lot more about them while I show you around and while I show you how to use essential oils to make meditation blends. Now, just before I dive in, a couple of admin things. In the chat box, you've got us here. So Judy's here as well. She's a user. Joe, can you hear me? Joe says she's no sound. Let me know if you can hear me, Joe. Oh, you can now. Okay, good. So if any of you guys want to ask me a question, there's loads of time for Q&A at the end. But if you want to ask me a question about the software, about anything LabAroma orientated, or the blends as I make them, don't hesitate to ask during the webinar. Enya's on support tonight. Hello, Enya. So Enya can answer your questions for you, or she can hold them for me and I'll answer them at the end. Okay? So let me get LabAroma open for you and let's make sure you can see it, which will be pretty important as I'm going to demo it. Okay, and how you guys find, I still call it the new software, even though it's not that new now. Well, it doesn't feel like new to me now. The new software is 6 months old. Time is flying. How are you guys finding it? Is it manageable, navigatable, or is it still a bit of a minefield? It's kind of, I definitely find even now I still fall into a rabbit hole when I'm starting to study something or look up something. I'll get excited about one particular topic and then that's it. I'm stuck there for a long time exploring and studying, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes you want to get to what you're working on and not lose time. So I'm curious to see how you guys are coping with that. So let me get into LabAroma. Joe, I love I was struggling with the percentage of oil to mils as it stays the same. Okay, so we can look at that for you tonight, Joe, and see what's going on with that. The percentage of oil to mils as it stays the same. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that for you, Joe, and see what's going on. The pen is out, Joe. That means business versus mil. So I'm going to look at that. Joe, when I get to that bit, I'm probably going to ask you some questions to make sure that I'm understanding where your challenge is. Okay, guys, here we go. Into the software. Now let me know that you can see my screen. So I've moved over to software. Let me just, tell me when you can see this, guys. You should be fit to see it now. Hopefully. Let's see. I think you can. Give me a thumbs up, Anya. I think you can. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Angie. Okay, so you can now see the software. Hi, Emma. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to do this swiftly and efficiently, guys. Okay, so LabAroma. I will do just a really quick whistle-stop tour for you guys that don't know the software. I'll make it super quick and super efficient because I know lots of you are users and you just want to get to blending meditation blends. So this is your dash, okay? So your dashboard. A couple of really easy things about your dashboard. You have your dash, which is here, which is great, but your navigation along the left-hand side is very similar to your dash. So you can create a blend on your navigation panel. You can also do that here. You can view your blends here. You can view them here. You can view your ingredients here. You can view them there. And you can compare ingredients here and here. So what your dash homepage as such is, it's a top level look into what you do on software. So it allows you to get to places you typically go to quickly, like making a blend and viewing ingredients. But it also pulls out your most recent blends. So the blends you're working on. And we know what it's like when we're working on a blend, we're madly in love with our creative flow, and then we get interrupted and we have to go. when you get back to LabAroma, I don't want you having to try to remember where you saved that blend, what it was called. Maybe you called it something to get out of there. It'll be here. Your latest work will be here. So it should be easy for you to find, okay? Your favorite blend categories are here. I don't have that many yet. This is my demo account, so I suppose I don't have that many on it. And then the essential oils that have the top notes you most familiarly work with, and then the physical effects and psychological effects that you typically blend with. You're probably unaware of these stats until we pull them out for you. So that's your dash. Quite interesting. Your advanced search is here. So if you're starting from scratch and you don't really understand all of the tools of LabAroma or all of the functionality, and you're starting from scratch, let's say you're looking for something for anxiety. Literally type anxiety in here, and anywhere within the software where anxiety is mentioned, we will pull it up for you. So we search all of the ingredients, all of your blends, and the LabAroma library of blends, and all the evidence. So you can get all of these brilliant recipes on anxiety and anti-anxiety. You can discover which essential oils are related to anxiety in a positive or negative way, and you can see where the research studies are that support aromatherapy for treating anxiety. That's all there. If you want to narrow that down to blends, just click blends and apply filters. And I have 2 blends in LabAroma, nervous anxiety pulse roller and the anti-anxiety diffuser. So the advanced search is probably a really smart and quick way to get some early answers to what you want, even if it's just, you know, those days when you log on and your brain isn't giving you the answers you want. Sometimes we just need a wee bit of inspiration. So if you're in that case, jump on the advanced search. It's super, super helpful. Okay, Joe's saying, can you search by chemical families? I also struggle to know where in the world some of my oils are from. Do I choose any of them? That's a really good question. Right, Joe, I'm going to come back to that one. That's a great question, actually. I'm going to come back to that. So I'm going to walk you through this really quickly. You create a blend here, and we're going to do this in a second. And this is your empty blending jar, if you like, where you're going to create a blend. Then we have then we have blends, which are here. Now, in LabAroma, you have a few blend categories. You will have my blends, which is your blends, the blends you make for yourself on LabAroma. No one else can see them. I can't even see them. Then you have the LabAroma blends. The LabAroma blends is our library of blends, which we give to you, and we release new blends all the time. So in the LabAroma blends, you're going to find a massive amount of blends. There's over 100 in there, and you just keep scrolling and they keep appearing. They will be everything from physical and psychological blends. Some will be roller balls, some will be massage oils, diffuser blends, cosmetic blends, loads and loads of different things. So when let's say you've never blended in LabAroma and you want to make something for stress, chances are if you search stress, the recipes that will come up are in the LabAroma library. Now, the lovely thing about the LabAroma library is that I give it to you and I want you to edit it and make it your own. So how do you do that? So here's one. There's a steam inhalation for respiratory congestion. You literally view it here. So just view the blend, the little eye. The blend comes up, okay, fully there. You might look at it and say, that blend's perfect. I have all those oils. I don't need to make any edits. I'm away to make this blend. Maybe the chemistry is perfect. Maybe you're just delighted. Let's say you're not. Maybe you don't have balsam copia. Maybe you don't like the smell of rosalina and you want to make some changes. You simply duplicate the blend. So when you hit duplicate and you hit OK, then what will happen is LabAroma will always tell you it's returned to your screen. That blend now appears in your library, in my blend library, which is your library. You can edit it, view it, duplicate it, or archive it. I don't believe in the word delete in LabAroma. I just think if you've ever accidentally deleted a blend or misplaced a blend that you've written on a piece of paper, it's devastating. So we archive everything. Because at least if it's archived, we can pull it back for you. It's only in cyberspace somewhere. We can get it back. It's not deleted, okay? So let's say I want to go and view this blend. I go in, I change the name. So I'm just going to change this to my. I'm going to own this now. I'm going to call it my steam inhalation blend for respiratory congestion. Perfect. I can put it into one of my categories. I'm going to put this into my diffusion category. I'll talk to you about categories in a second. I'm going to tag it with anything I want. So I am going to tag it with rosalina. So I'll remember that I've used that oil in it. All my effects are there. I can change anything I want here. I can literally take Zaro out by dropping it back into the database on the left, edit it in any way I want. I can do anything. My chemistry's there. It'll change as I change the blend. When I'm happy, I just hit save. And you've created a blend. I'm not going to say from scratch, but you've definitely created a blend with the confidence of knowing that it was built by me. So it's safe and it's in there for you to work with. I love how I spelled it so badly. Look at that. I'm going to edit that. I can't, my OCD won't allow that. There we go. My steam has solution. Okay, so that's there. And if you're new to aromatherapy or, you know, a young aromatherapist and you want to make blends and you're just not that confident about starting on your own yet, use the LabAroma's library blends to make your blends and just play with them, get used to them, learn them, be inspired by them, but make them your own. Don't hesitate to make them your own, okay? Now let me see. What else have I got? Guys, you can't see what I'm doing on screen. And you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah, and you can see my screen. Guys, I think I'm okay. I think my screen's good. Okay, Gloria, does it tell you an alternative that you can use if you don't have a specific oil? No. So, and for two reasons, Gloria, it doesn't do that. I don't know what you're trying to blend. So let's say you didn't have Rosaline and you want to make a substitution. I don't know what condition you're treating. I don't know what the contraindications are of the patient you're working with. There's so much information LabAroma doesn't have from you. So therefore we can't give you the information to make those substitutions. What you can do is you can do a compare search, and I will actually just show you that. So, or you can do a component search. If you go to compare search, you can go in here to your comparison tool, and here you will find, type in any oil. So let's just type in basil for argument's sake. It'll give you all the basils that are in LabAroma alongside the country of origin. So someone asked earlier about the country of origin. The countries are all listed in the ingredients. I'll show you where the ingredients are in a second. So if I decide I want to look at my Egyptian basil, okay, and I'm just going to apply that compare, I'm going to get this compare here. So it gives me all the information about my Egyptian basil, which looks great, very exciting. If I want to compare one beside it, so let's say I don't have basil, I'm making something for a digestive condition, and I know from my reading or my research online or my study that I should probably try marjoram for stomach problems, okay? And I'm deliberately keeping this conversation very vague, okay? So let's say I'm going to go with marjoram, and I happen to have an Egyptian marjoram, or the Latin matches, okay? Whatever is closest. I can see them side by side, and I can say, okay, well, I don't have basil. Basil's in the LabAroma recipe. Is marjoram going to be a suitable substitution? Look down here at your chemistry. There's two things you can do. Look at your therapeutic properties side by side. So these therapeutic properties are all here, and you're wondering, well, is it both analgesic? Is it both anti-inflammatory? Yes and yes. Both antifungal. Basil's antioxidant. Marjoram's not, probably less important. Basil's carminative. Marjoram's not. And you see them side by side, and that might be enough for you. You say, yeah, I understand it. It works. It's perfect. It's close enough that it's a good substitute. Or what I like to do is consider my substitutions based on chemistry. So for example, I look at this and I'll say, okay, what is the biggest chemical family represented in each oil? So in my basil, my biggest chemical family is monoterpenols, which is at 49%, 49.02. In marjoram, my monoterpenols are 49.61. So that's a great start. So half of both of these oils are from the same chemical family, which is a great start. So my next biggest chemical family in basil is sesquiterpenes, which is at 12.2. So where's my sesquiterpenes in my marjoram? It's at only 1.95. So it is a lot lower. So you might look at that and think, I might want something a bit different. And I want something that's slightly closer. So if we look at basil, we want something that's slightly closer. I'm going to focus on the monoterpenols, and I'm also going to focus on the oxide and the phenols. They're both quite high. Now, let's say you do not know any oil that reflects basil. You don't know an oil that reflects that chemistry, and you feel a bit stuck. Don't feel stuck. Go to your component search. You now know that you want something that's high in monoterpenols and oxides. and phenols. So let's go and pull out basil for a second and have a closer look at it. Go to LabAroma ingredients, go to basil. So I'm just going to open my basil. I want to look at what compounds are at the richest in basil. So got all my information here. We know we want monoterpenols. So linalool is really high. It's at 41%. And then the other compound that's very high, that's rare, is 1,8-cineol. So rare in that it's never in a massively high quantity in any oil, okay? So actually I'm going to pull that one out and I'm going to look for linalool that's at about 40%, okay? This is within my component search. And I'm going to go and I'm going to pull out 1,8-cineol, probably at about a 2 to 4%. So you grab the information in the oil that you're trying to substitute, go to your component search. I'm going to type in linalool. LabAroma helps you spell the chemistry because it's not always that easy to spell. So you want something that's at around 40%. Then we're going to look at 1,8-cineol. So I'm going to, there you go. LabAroma makes it so easy. I want something that's equal or greater to, I'm going to say 2%, guys, because 1,8-cineol at 4%. Well, do you know what? I'll do it at 4 and we'll see what happens. Okay. So I hit compare search. LabAroma runs away, does all its research, and it does give me some results. I didn't think it would give me this many. So it's saying we've got basil. We knew that. Basil's at 47.9%, linalool 8.46, which makes sense. That's fine. Tamala is another oil. Now, I expect if you don't have basil, you definitely don't have tamala. Beautiful oil, really close chemistry to basil. Okay, we have more basil, and then spike lavender. I bet you didn't expect spike lavender to be in there. So spike lavender is 40% linalool and 22 1,8-cineol, which is great. And the other option is rosalina. So straight away you can say, okay, if I'm trying to substitute basil based on chemistry, there is my options: tamala, spike lavender, rosalina. That is a really smart way to work on the chemistry of your oil to get a substitution. A piece of warning with this: if you're using basil from a scent point of view and you don't have any, and you're looking for a substitute aromatically, the chemistry won't always help you. Okay, the chemistry sometimes will, but spike lavender and basil smell nothing alike. Rosalina and basil smell nothing alike. So if you're substituting based on scent, the chemical profile or the component search is not going to be as accurate. If you're substituting based on therapeutic property, which is reflected in the chemistry, then this is perfect for you. Okay, so just be aware that just because the chemistry is similar does not mean the smell is going to be similar. Okay, and always just look at the therapeutic properties side by side in your compare search as well. And I showed you the compare ingredient search quite quickly. Okay, let me just go back and show you something in it. I'm going to pull out one I've done earlier. 1,8-cineol. We're talking about it. So in January, I wanted to find oils that were rich in 1,8-cineol, and I done a compare search. I saved that search. Okay. And I have a report. So this report is just called 1,8-cineol, and I was looking for immune respiratory options. So I'm going to go into view this. I just want to show you this so you see the benefit of using the compare search. So I've Eucalyptus globulus, sorrow, Frankincense, and cardamom side by side. And I know me, all I cared about was the 1,8-cineol here. So I scroll down here and I can look. 1,8-cineol is an oxide, okay? And all the chemical families in LabAroma have consistently the same color. The families are represented with the same color consistently. So I've got oxides there, and they're this lovely, what are you going to call that? Mossy green color, teal, deep teal. 1,8-cineol is at 65%, 45 here, 30 here in my Frankincense, makes sense. And then in my cardamom, it's probably lower. Yeah, 31%. There's how I can see my cineol side by side. Now, I was looking for immune respiratory support. Cineol at that level in any of those oils is going to be great. If I'm looking for a really strong Rambo, I'm going to go with my high one, which is Eucalyptus globulus, where the cineol is 65%. Now, let's just stick with this aromatic warning I'm giving you. Eucalyptus globulus, sorrow, and Frankincense and cardamom don't smell alike. Sorrow, Frankincense, Eucalyptus globulus aromatically sit in a family that feels like they're Rambos. They are not necessarily rich in phenols, but they're strong. You smell them and know they're going to support your immune system. Cardamom does not. But cardamom is 1,8-cineol content. It's not that far off. It's higher than Fregonia, and it's not that much lower than Zarrow. So Zarrow is at 45 and cardamom is 38. Cardamom doesn't feel like it belongs there, but chemically it aligns. Okay, really interesting way to learn your essential oils, guys. Now, if that blows your mind and you're like me and you're a visual learner and you need to see that, you hit this arrow and you can download the PDF. So I'm going to do this and show you it. So you download the PDF. It's going to download for me. So it's loading it. LabAroma will tell you what it's doing. So it's loading the PDF. Then it'll let me download it. You download the PDF and you can save that. And you can do the same thing with all of your recipes. We allow you to print them and download them. Okay, so that's all very easy. So that's the main features in LabAroma. If you're ever working on those features and you're not that sure that you're doing it right, or you just have questions and you just feel a bit confused, don't struggle, guys. I'm going to show you 2 ways to get help. One is here. At the top of all of the features, there's this link. It'll always say go to, and there'll be a tutorial. So if you click on that tutorial, it will open up in, let me just do this here. It'll open up in a separate window. So you stay on your software, but what we call the help site opens up, and the help site is here. Okay, so we built an entire website just to support you guys. And there's 13 or 14, and you can remind me, 13 or 14 tutorial videos in here. Now, those tutorial videos are me using the software and doing a voiceover so you can see what I'm doing as I do it. And if you prefer to read, you can read the script of how to work every feature. All the main features in LabAroma have this tutorial. It is super, super helpful. It's one of the best things we ever done. And the other way to get access to it is if you hit this chat now button or this button, you get access to it. Now, Enya is working. She's on the webinar with us tonight, but typically she be on work all day long, and you just send her a message, or you can search for a topic. So you can search for, let's say you search for blend. Anywhere in a tutorial or in a piece of advice where there is information on your question, we will give it to you, and the tutorial will open straight away here. You can watch it there. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to leave your blending. There you go. You get to listen to me twice. So it's all there. Lean on the support, guys. The support site and Enya was built in a way to make it efficient and quick for you. I don't ever want you to be stuck on the software to the point where you can't do what you came on to do, whether that was blend, learn about an ingredient, whatever it was. Don't hesitate to reach out to those support tutorials or to our team, okay? Because we are there to help you. So I'm going to check if you guys have questions for me, and then I'm going to jump straight in to making 2 recipes, 2 meditation recipes. And let me just check if anyone has any questions for me. Let's see. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Are you happy to jump into blends? I think we're good. No questions. Okay, thank you, Emma. Okay, so let's jump into your blends. So 2 blends. Firstly, show of hands, guys. Have we got meditators on tonight's webinar? Do many of you guys webinar? Do many of you guys meditate? Oh, look at that. Amazing numbers. Okay, brilliant. Okay, great. Love my fellow meditators. So we reignited our blog this year, which is lovely. I wrote it for years, and then the blog just became untrendy for a while. And we started the podcast. So the podcast kind of consumed me, but I'm back to writing blogs and I love it. So we wrote a meditation blog a few weeks ago. It's at, and I'll give you the link. It's at labaroma.com/blog. So Enya will give you the link to it. We release new blogs every week, mostly every week. I do over 4 a month. So if it's a 5-week month, you get a short straw, but generally it's 1 a month, and they're brilliant. So there and there, and you'll give you a link to those. And I pulled two recipes from that blog that I want to work with you tonight on. So the first one I want to work with is a very grounding meditation. That might sound a bit ironic, because surely when you're meditating, you want to be grounded. I meditate in the morning a lot, sometimes in the evening, but definitely I'm more of a morning meditator. And I don't like using very resinous or heavy oils first thing in the morning. I'll go straight back to bed if I do that. So I need brighter oils. However, when I do yoga in the evening, or I do a nighttime meditation, regardless of how rare that is, I have the same blend that I love to use, and it's very beautiful. I have substituted it a wee bit in the past year or so, and maybe that was just COVID and lockdown. But I'm going to show you the original. I want to walk you through the original. It is very simple. It's sandalwood, bergamot, and patchouli. Now, there's bergamot in there, but it's only in there 3 drops, and there's enough sandalwood and patchouli to keep me grounded. But again, if I was using anything too heady at night, it would probably disturb my sleep. So that's how I feel about meditation blends. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about them. Now, I'm going to get blending for you. So I call this my nighttime meditation blend. You do not have to name everything perfectly in LabAroma. You don't have to categorize everything if you do. I'm a bit OCD and I do categorize everything, organize everything. I'm going to put this blend into my webinar blends. You don't have to set blend categories. The reason I do is because I never find it otherwise. Now, I use tags to help me find things, but I might forget what I called it. I might forget some of the oils in it. Sometimes if I want to make a diffuser, it's so much quicker for me just to go to my diffuser catalog and find my diffuser blends and pick one from there. So I like everything categorized. Do you guys do that? Do you put everything into categories, or do you just have it in one big long list? I'm curious to know. I categorize everything. So I am going to put the name of some of the oils I'm going to use in this as my tags. Now, tags are something that I really like this past few years. It helps me to find things, helps me to remember things, and I definitely like tags. So in the future, let's say I want to make a new batch of this blend. I can't remember what I called it. Maybe I didn't categorize it, but I know there's sandalwood in it. When I search sandalwood in the advanced search, because it's tagged in this recipe, it will appear. Smart, really, really helpful. Categories. Okay, use your category, girls. Cool. Okay, so much. Okay, so how do you blend? All of your ingredients are here along the database, and you just scroll and scroll and all of your ingredients will come up. Now there's a lot of ingredients and there's over 700. So they also are categorized. Surprise, surprise. So we've got essential oils, extracts. Now extracts are anything that is extracted as opposed to distilled. So essential oils by nature are a distillation, okay? But there's so many extracts out there that are wonderful. CO2 extracts or resinous extracts or mechanical extracts. There's loads of different ways to get the essence of the plant out of the actual plant material. So extracts are there. Carrier oils are in there as well, and they're wonderful. Now, herbal is a plant material that's not an essential oil, an extract or a carrier oil. So think of things like clays, butters, hydrosols, plant material that literally is not an essential oil, an extract or carrier oil. Okay, so anything that you can't find in there is probably here. Cosmetic ingredients are your basic cosmetic ingredients. So beeswax, butters, alcohols, sorry, not butters, alcohols, stabilizers, soaps, those kind of things. Favorites is anything you starred as you went along. So I'm just going to star some to show you. So if I star Angelica, and I go to favorites, my Angelica's there. I can unstar it and then it vanishes. And my ingredients are the ingredients that I have added into my LabAroma. Okay. And I'll show you where to do that later. Now, you may never want to scroll through all of that, and that's absolutely fine. So just search. So you just go type in sandalwood and my sandalwoods will appear. So I have 5 in there. I'm going to go with my Australian sandalwood and I'm literally going to drag it over. Now, let's say I'm looking at my Australian sandalwood and I'm thinking, I don't really remember much about this oil. What is it? What's the chemistry? What's the therapeutic properties? If you click on it, it'll open in a separate tab. So the information sheet for sandalwood opens in a completely separate tab. You can add it to your favorites there. You can throw it straight into a compare search. It'll just open in a separate tab and compare straight away. You can duplicate it if you want to edit it and make it your own. And again, you can download it or print it. Okay, so you can do all of that. And all of the ingredients sheets have the same layout and structure, okay, to make it as easy as possible. The core botanical profile information is in the first 2 boxes. Your therapeutic property is here. When there's synergistic information on energetic information written, it will appear. We don't have it for sandalwood. We have energetics for the top 30 oils in LabAroma and synergy for the top 50. Okay. And then where there's evidence to support that essential oil, you can find the evidence here. You just click the wee box, it takes you there. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my sandalwood. Okay. My chemistry is here. So I can see that I have got 80% sesquiterpenols, 6% sesquiterpenes, and very little monoterpenes. And look at this. It's all here. I can study it in more detail. If the families or the level you're at or the level that interests you, perfect. If you want to go into more detail, you can here. You just open up your window. We can see it's a top middle note. It's got a very calming effect on the mind. And physically, it's brilliant for the immune infectious systems, and it's great for the reproductive systems. Now, you might edit that because you have your own sandalwood and your chemistry is slightly different, or your opinion on therapeutic properties is slightly different. You just duplicate that. It will appear in your ingredients just like the recipes do, okay? So it's now my ingredient library. I'm going to scroll down and find it. There it is. There's my sandalwood from Australia. I can throw it into compare search, favorite it, edit it, view it, duplicate it, archive it. So if I go into edit it, anywhere where I am happy for you to edit, which is mostly everywhere, you, other than synergy and evidence, you can edit it. So where there's a gray box, you edit all your chemistry, you edit everything, add your own notes, upload files. Maybe you want to upload the actual accurate GC, you can do that there, okay? So all to say, you can do that. So back to our recipe. So I'm going to put sandalwood in here first. I'm going to make a really simple blend, guys. I'm going to make a 9-drop blend, like just a one dose nearly meditation blend. So I'm going to use 4 drops of sandalwood. So I'm going to change my mils to drops, and I'm going to add that in there. There's my 4 drops. Now my bergamot is next, and I'm going to search via my bees for it. So if I search my bees and scroll along, I will find bergamot. There's my Italian bergamot. I'm going to use 3 drops. And then my last one is patchouli. Really simple. Such a beautiful, simple blend. I hit my peas, and patchouli is going to be there somewhere. There you go, at the top. I have been substituting patchouli out for Palo Santo recently, only because I'm having a bit of a love affair with Palo Santo, which if you were on my past few webinars, you know this now already. Or if you read the blog, you know this. So I love it, and I've been substituting it out. So feel free to do that, and feel free to make your own edits as well. But this is the blend I used, and I love it. Now, it's 100% essential oil blend because it's just a pure blend. I tend to put this on a tissue and take deep inhalations. You can put it in a diffuser if you want, or burn it on incense, however you want to do it. I put this on tissue and keep the tissue beside me when I meditate. That's how I do it, but everyone's different. So it's 100% essential oil. I'm not going to make 100 mils of it. It's not going to happen. I am going to change this literally to drops, and I have got 9 drops. That's all I'm making. So my price dramatically dropped. I should have showed you that. Sorry. I'll put that back to 100 mils so you can see. So if I was going to make 100 mils of this product, based on retail prices of our suppliers, that would cost about 80, I was going to say $3 very low, 87.22. Makes sense. I'm not making that much. I'm making 9 drops. So not that I'm ever going to price it out like 9 drops, but if I did, let's be accurate, then it's going to cost me 30 cents. Makes sense. You can change your currency based on where you're living. Okay, so the currency converter is built into LabAroma, and that'll do that for you. Just remember, if you're in a position where you're buying your oils wholesale, LabAroma's cost calculator is going to be more expensive because we base it on retail, because most of you guys are buying retail prices, not wholesale. So just if you are buying wholesale, know that you're going to get it more affordable than what LabAroma is indicating. Okay. One of the benefits of adding your own oils is that you can put in whatever whatever price you're actually working with. So there's my blend. I'm really happy with it. It's great. Now my chemistry. So my chemistry is here. Obviously my sesquiterpenols are high because of my sandalwood concentration, but I have a really nice balance. Like, it's a nice balance. Let's say you can't remember what a sesquiterpenol is. You just click on it and the bio opens. If I can get it clicked on. Jinx myself. There we go. So open up any of your bios, and it'll tell you exactly what's the chemistry of that family, what is it typically used for, what are some of the typical essential oils rich in the compounds, and what are the actual compounds, and a wee bit of safety information. So it's a really helpful reminder on the chemical families if that's useful to you. Okay, compliance warnings are great if you're a Lab Pro member. And this blend is going to be a top middle note, which is great. The patchouli keeps it base like my Palo Santo does. This has a physical effect, is going to be helpful on the reproductive, the immune infectious system. It's less relevant to me because I'm more interested in the scent and the aroma for meditation. Now, it's balancing and calming, slightly sensual, that's the sandalwood again, energizing and meditative. Now, you might be thinking, well, a meditative blend, I want it to be high in meditative qualities, and you absolutely do. But I don't like to be too zoned out after my meditation. So I'm happy to be balanced and calmed and not meditative as such, okay? And that's the joy of aromatherapy. It's completely subjective. You guys might think, why would you ever have bergamot in your meditation blend? Never. It's everyone's so different. So we have to just be open to that, I suppose. So that is my first blend. I'm going to save that. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes life gets in the way of our creative blending and we have to run out in the middle of a blend. Don't panic. Just save a draft of your blend. I'm finished with this, so I'm going to save it as a saved blend. But let's say I do save it as a draft. So I'm going to save it as a draft and it's fine. It'll appear as a draft. So it doesn't go green. It's not a live finished blend. It's a draft. So it means that you have the comfort of knowing that your work you've done, even if you're interrupted, is saved, it's secure, it's fine. And where that's most useful is if you're in the middle of blending and you haven't worked out your calculations. Let's say you have 190% in there in your calculations. LabAroma typically would say to you, you can't have any more than 100% redo your math. When you save as a draft, we don't do that. We don't do the math actually. We just let you save it in the raw format that it is at the minute as you're building it. And that gives you the confidence to know your work's not lost. You don't have to perfect it before you can save it. Save it as a draft, come back to it and perfect it when you're ready. Okay. So let me see. Any questions for me on the second one? Cost is built in on supplier. Can I overwrite them with my own unit cost? Yes, Mona, you can. And the way you do that is you go to your ingredients, you go to the LabAroma ingredient, make it your own like I just showed you. I'll show you where my ingredients are. I'll go to my sandalwood actually that I just put in there. So make it your own. You have to do that first, Mona. That's the first step. Make it your own. And the price is there. So you just change it. So my price, and it's benchmark of over 15 mil. Okay. So figure out whatever you buy it at, what's 15 mil of that value and add it in. And then that means when you blend, your prices are actually accurate. And for a lot of people, when they blend, because they overwrite our price a lot, what they do is they end up blending with my ingredients a lot of the time because that's where all their ingredients are. You can still use the alphabet and search for my ingredients. Okay. So let's see. Joe, I think that could really help. I'm struggling to remember all of the properties. Any tips to remember them all? Yes, I do have a tip actually. Remember the top three. Not necessarily the top three in the order of LabAroma. Read through all the therapeutic properties, Joe, of an oil and pull out the three that mean the most to you and remember them. You're never going to remember all those therapeutic properties. I still will read my information sheets in LabAroma and think, oh, I didn't realize that was cumulative. I didn't realize that was antispasmodic. And I'm doing this a long time. So pick the top three that feel the most relevant to that oil for you. They typically are in alphabetical order with us, okay? Or at least we start with the A's and we kind of work down that way. So don't go by our top three because they're not structured based on their strength of property. It's structured grammatically. So pick the top three for you and focus on them, okay? And three's plenty. Joe, if you remember 3 therapeutic properties per oil, that's amazing. So that should be your aim. Yeah. Don't try to remember them all, Joe. You'll not get far. It's there's too much to remember, and you don't need to. You don't need to. Okay. Any other questions for who on? Gloria loves Palo Santo. Yeah, I'm genuinely having a love affair with Palo Santo at the moment, and I have been for over 2 years now. It's not easy any. Okay. I'm going to make another one. I feel like I can't make a meditation webinar without working with frankincense. So I'm going to make a simple blend with frankincense, helichrysum, and sweet orange. Now, this meditation blend is probably a more spiritual blend. So if that's your comfortable zone or your happy place, then brilliant. The reason I like sweet orange in this, a wee bit like the reason I like bergamot in the original one, is those citruses add a level of lightness to meditation. It can get heavy. Meditation can get serious and heavy, especially if you're new to it and you're trying to be, you're trying to be the best yogi in the world, and it's just feels stressful. And all you think about is the shopping list or the dishes. We all do that during meditation, but it doesn't have to be so serious. And having a citrus essential oil in a meditation blend helps to lift the seriousness of it all. So I'm going to make a really beautiful blend. It's my frankincense meditation blend. I am going to make it. I'm going to copy the title, make my life easier. So back to my blend, my meditation blend. I'm going to put it into diffuser again because I do diffuse this one. And I will do this morning and night. I find I really like this one in the morning, especially weekend mornings when I'm not meditating and then running to work or running to the desk, as the case is these days. So let's see where I am with this one. This one's lovely. I'm just going to put frankincense as my only tags. It's kind of the one that's most important to me. So frankincense in my essential oils. I am going to go with my Somalian Cartier. Okay, 4 drops, guys. Very simple. And then my orange is 4 drops as well. So very balanced. I'm going to use my sweet orange. Let's see if I can find it quickly. There we go. LabAroma makes me spell everything right. I do want to show you something about my sweet orange, actually. I was showing you earlier the information sheets. And they didn't have synergy and energetic information. If you want to see what a completed information sheet looks like, go to Sweet Orange. There's loads of them. There's 50 of them, 30 of them. But this synergistic information was written by Jennifer Peace Ryan for us, who is an amazing author and an amazing aromatherapist. So if you're at that place where you want some inspiration on how to blend different oils, this synergistic information is brilliant. Now, basically what the theory is that this information serves to identify potential synergistic interactions between essential oils, which could help inform your blending considerations. So if you're constructing blends and you're wondering what to add for different conditions, what oils blend well together for different conditions, this information is invaluable. Now, it is detailed, and that's okay. I wanted it to be, but it's brilliant. And then if energetics is your happy place, a wonderful lady called Prashanti wrote this, and this information serves to give you an insight into the energetic possibilities of essential oils. Now, this is subjective. So lots of people will read these and say, that's not how I feel about sweet orange, and that's fine. You can't really argue with Jennifer's synergistic information. It's pretty scientific. Whereas Prashanti's energetics is very personal. It's very subjective, but it's a really, really nice way to understand the energy of the oil. We give you some basic information on it. We give you some information on the energy of the oil and the 5-element affinity. So really, really nice information. So I'm going to go back to my blend, which is here. I'm going to put 4 drops of my sweet orange in. I'm going to go with drops with it, and I'm going to add it. Hit add. Make sure you hit add. And then I'm going to go with helichrysum. I'm going to go with a 4 on it as well. I'm going to keep my helichrysum nice and to keep the blend nice and balanced. You can go with less orange if you're going to use this at night. If you're using this at night, I would only go with 2 drops of orange. Okay. But as I say, I'm a morning meditator, so I'm going to keep it at 4. Okay. Lovely and balanced. Again, if I'm going to make 100 mils of this, it's going to break the bank. I'm not going to make 100 mils, but let's say I make a 10 ml bottle and I do use it as a diffuser. That's probably more realistic. It's still going to cost me, give it a second. There you go. $8.19. Okay. In US dollars. It's not bad. It's okay for a 10 ml bottle. $8.19. Okay. Now look at that for balanced chemistry. We've got the monoterpenes at 64, beautiful esters. So aromatically, it's going to be divine, sesquiterpenes, ketones. We've got everything but phenols in there. We don't really need phenols for meditation. Limonene is high, pinene. Really nice balance. Look at those terpenes in there. It's beautiful. Really nice terpene mixes. Never looked at the chemistry of this one before. Really nice. It's only all tiny percentage. So when I see esters like that, like a nice chunk of esters, 13% of esters, it's going to be aromatically gorgeous. So I'm really happy with that chemistry. That's great. Again, balancing, meditative, energizing, calming, sensual. Great. Okay. I don't care about the physical effects of this blend. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to use it physically. I'm using it psychologically. And it's a nice balance. There's a top note in the orange, the middle in the helichrysum, and the base in the frankincense. Beautiful. So that is my 2 meditation blends. Do we like them? Does anyone not have any of those oils and want some suggestions and substitutions? Let me know. I want to see if you guys need substitutions. Now let me see what your questions are. Gloria. Yes, Gloria started working on hydrosols. Do you have blends with those included? Yes, I done a hydrosol webinar a few months ago. Anya will grab the link for you and she will put it in there. So guys, we do, when we launched the new software, I done 6 webinars in a row, 6 weeks in a row. And we don't normally post our webinars, but we did host these on our website so that you can, and they're all themed. So we had one on cannabis, one on muscle blends, one on skincare, one on diffusers, one on massage oils, and we had one on hydrosols. Maybe that was last month. No, it was 2 months ago. It's posted. So Anya will give you the link to it, and there's loads of webinars. This one will be posted tomorrow. So we do a webinar once a month and we post them. There's the page for the webinars, Gloria. Grab the hydrosol one there. I love hydrosols. I use them a lot with my dog, but I use them with my nieces and nephews as well. I use them a bit with me, definitely a lot more in the last 5 years. I didn't even, I don't think I ever used a hydrosol. I was an aromatherapist 10 years, and now I value them just like I value essential oils. So they're a beautiful tool, a beautiful aromatherapy material. The other place that might be of interest to you, Gloria, that and you can give you the link to, is our lab learning documents. We have an entire suite of information about aromatherapy, but we have a document just about hydrosols. It's in the second one in your aromatherapy materials. So Anya will pull that off for you, give you the link, and you can grab it, and we cover hydrosols in it. You can also visit them in here. So if you go to LabAroma ingredients, go to herbal, and scroll down, there's loads of hydrosols. So you can just visit any of them. There's chamomile hydrosol. You can nip in, see some of the botanical information, therapeutic properties, and so on. Okay, it's all there for you. So have a read at that, Gloria. Okay, brilliant. Joe says she loves it as well. I think you mean the blend, the meditation blend. Do you have a set dilution rate? I have been given charts from my tutor, 6 drops at 2% and 10 mils, but it allows me to go many more when I blend it. I am going to show you my dilution guide actually. So I'm a big fan of safety. So I have written a safety document, and it's free. So I'm going to give it to you guys now. It's in Lab Learning. It's the aromatherapy basics. It's free. What it contains, I'm added, my God. What it contains, you can see my screen, can't you? Is essential oil safety. In that, Joe, is my dilution guide. Okay. There's aromatherapy supplier list, plant conservation, and my top 10 essential oils. I'm going to give you that link. Download that document. It's free. My dilution set is in that. I could do it for you, but it would take a minute. So, and I want to get your Q&A. So grab it. And anytime I talk about safety, you'll find this exact same set. So in all of the courses I teach, I use the same dilution sets, and it's all there. Okay, Marie. So guys, throw me your questions. I'm all up for Q&A. Throw them to me. Suggestions for a mobile app, the oil sheets, just a simple way to read. Like if I was on a train, pull out my tablet and read. Could also be used when speaking with someone or conferring with others. Subscribe, if not, a LabAroma client, a free version with limited info to give folks interested. Just that really good thought. So we, yes, Marie, the answer is we should absolutely do that. So our information sheets are very, very detailed, and a more basic version of them, I would imagine, would be super helpful. And maybe without the chemistry, Marie, I would imagine. The disadvantage or the advantage, Marie, when you give us great suggestions is you normally get an email from us in a couple of days saying, remember on the webinar, you suggested this. Can we talk about that? So don't be surprised if Anya or Nick reaches out in a couple of days and picks your brain. But yes, a more basic information on the essential oils that is free would be something we would love to do. And then obviously, if you wanted more information, you could just subscribe. Great idea. Really, really good. So guys, any questions on meditation? The other thing I will show you while I'm here, I know Anya's gave you the link, but while I have it open, I'll show you it. And it's our webinars. So go into learning, basically, in LabAroma. All the webinars are there. They're all themed. The hydrosol one is there, blending hydrosols. So the new LabAroma is really, we didn't blend on it as such. It was more of a tour of the new software. Anti-inflammatory blends, immunity, cosmetic blending, hydrosols, cannabis, diffusion, body care. And then this will be posted tomorrow. Okay. Using Epsom salts, how do they work out how much car oil it drops? I blended with Epsom salts in body care recipes in this one. Joe, I saw it's not Joe. It is Joe. Joe, in this one, I done it. So to answer your question, so you don't have to watch the webinar if you don't want to, although the webinar was really good. I done it in body care and anti-inflammatory. No, just body care actually. Maybe cosmetic as well. maybe cosmetic. It depends how thin basically you want your bath salts. I do two things with Epsom salts. I will just put essential oils in them, which I do more than often. I don't like oily baths. I don't like my bath to be oily with carrier oil. So I'll say I'm using one bath and I'm taking 50 grams of Epsom salts. I'll probably put about 20 drops of essential oils into them, mix them really well, and then add them to the water. In a carrier oil, if I'm using 50 grams of Epsom salts, I'll use about 10 grams of carrier oil, 10 to 20 drops of essential oil. Depends how strong you want it. And it depends what you're wanting it for. I use a lot less essential oil for relaxation and a lot more if I'm treating something like a muscular ache, something like that. So it's up to you. I don't like carrier oils in my Epsom salts. I used to, but not anymore. And I will make bigger batches with just essential oils, and I tend to find it keeps fresher, Joe. So just something to try. So that's what I do. Okay, guys, I think that's us. If anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can get us, as I said, on the chat now or the support here. We do webinars every month, so just keep an eye on your emailers and you'll get a link to the webinar every month. There's another one at the end of June, the last Thursday in June, and then there'll be one at the end of July, and then we'll take August off. I also have a quiet August. If anyone needs us, you can also get us at support@labaroma.com. And in case you missed it, we launched a course on Monday this week called Lab CBD. So if you're interested in CBD and making skincare products with CBD, then you should join our free webinar, and you will grab a link and put it in there for you guys. It is on Tuesday night, so the 8th of June, we are doing a webinar, and it's all about CBD and skincare. So hopefully you can join us there and avail of that. It's free. Okay, guys, it's a pleasure doing the webinar with you guys tonight. This will be live tomorrow if you want to get a replay, and otherwise I will see you all hopefully next Tuesday at our CBD webinar. Have a great day and afternoon. Take care.